something that you can build up to. Yeah, if you normally, your heart rate goes crazy when your head's below your heart and it's getting better, it's changing.
You made me like it again. I was so excited.
Oh, I love that. All right, you can do this with or without shoes, with or without socks or whatever. Again, remember, if you have that plantar fasciitis or any foot surgeries and you prefer to have your shoes on, keep them on. I like to have my shoes off, and I usually go stockinged until I'm too slippery or something, and then I take my socks off. We're gonna start seated, and we're gonna turn our music on. And let me know at home if you guys can't hear me or
playing from Scott's iPhone.
Whatever, it's my phone. All right. Spit out my gum. All right, just sit nice and comfortable. Shoulders are back, sitting up tall. You can sit crisscross if that bothers your knees. You sit with your legs extended. You can sit with your legs bent. However you're sitting is comfortable. Now, if this is causing any strain on your shoulders, your abs, your back, you're going to take that pillow or your yoga block and you just ever so slightly, just sitting your tailbone on that, and you'll be like, oh my goodness. Now you can sit up super tall, right? Did you notice that difference? Shoulders back, nice and tall. So that way you're sitting tall without the work, without the strain. So right here, if this is causing you work, guess what? We're not looking for work right now. You don't have to, but it's there. All right, resting your hands on your knees. And you can have your eyes closed. You can have your eyes open, whatever you prefer. And first we're going to find our breath. So breath is important today in our yoga because we're going to move with our breath. So if I'm moving my arm or moving my leg, I'm usually following an inhale, and then I follow an exhale. And if you're breathing faster, guess what? You're going to move faster. If you're breathing slower, you're going to move slower, and that is fine. I can say the move and you don't have to get into it right away. Or you can read my mind and know what I'm going to do and get there before I do. That happens. Breathing in the nose and out the nose. Really think about the crown of the head is lifted up to the ceiling. As you inhale, let the belly fill up like a balloon. Really open those abs. And then exhale, squeeze that belly button in. Tighten that diaphragm. There's a little ab work right away from the get-go. You inhale and you expand your belly. Let your chest rise and fall as well. Exhale, squeeze. You should be breathing so deep that you can hear yourself breathe. The inhale and the exhale. And if someone were next to you, they could actually hear you breathe as well. And we're going to start to warm up through that spine. Tuck your chin to your chest. And then roll your right ear to your shoulder. Lift your chin. Left ear, left shoulder, and tuck. Let's take it around the other way. We're not forcing the neck here, and just make that circle. Just nice and relaxed, warming up the top of that spine until you come right back center. On your next inhale, reach those arms up high overhead. Reaching for the ceiling, exhale, we come on down, and our arms are actively reaching, like reaching out towards the floor. Good. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, reach. I'm going to turn a little angle here so I can see everyone real good. Reaching like you could touch the walls, as if your fingers and arms could grow 10, 20 feet to the walls. And we're going to add our twist. We inhale tall. As you exhale, turn to the right. Let those arms continue. The arms will always raise and lower. Inhale, lift and twist. Exhale, release. This should feel so nice. Going at your pace. When you inhale, you raise. When you exhale, you lower and twist. Little bonus points if you want. When your hands reach the floor, you can kind of let those fingertips touch. You give it a little tug, a little push, a twist, to almost look over that shoulder just a little bit more. go one more on each side. And we're going to take it to a lean now. Lean it to the side. Keep your sits bones down, so don't let that hip come up. Keep them down. You're going to lean to the side. Inhale, come up tall. Exhale to the other side. And we're going to take that through a few breaths. I kind of like to warm up. You guys, if you've done yoga with me, you know this. I warm up kind of similarly on most of my yoga routines because you've really got to warm up that spine, the front and back flexion, the side to side flexion, the twisting, the extensions, etc., etc. Let's go one more on each side. Good. Last side. Inhale tall and release those hands back to your knees. Now you're going to imagine that your chest, your rib cage is it's like a barrel, all right? And we're going to circle and rotate that barrel. If that barrel makes sense, or if it's just a, I don't know, that's all I can think of there is a barrel. Now you want to make sure you're not doing it from the hips, right? We're not tilting around like that. It's our rib cage, just the rib cage moving around. So your head is staying in place. It'll move a little. Reverse direction. It's getting the lumbar area of your back and your middle back. Good. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. Elongate that spine. And then lean forward. You knew I was going there. Nice, Jane. Palms down. Reach, 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 reach. Now placing your palms on that floor and you're pushing your hips back into your seat. You reach long with the arms, pressing back through your tush. Walk your arms back in. Let's take your legs out. It doesn't matter how wide. It can be narrow. It can be super wide. If you can do the splits, go ahead. I go nowhere near that. Nice and tall. And we're just going to walk those hands out, keeping your back flat. Once you start to round your back, then you stop. Good. Shoulders are back. Maybe you only go a little bit. I don't go very far. Shoulders are back. You should feel a stretch in that inner thigh. And bring it back in. Swing your legs around, and we're going to remove that pillow and come to your hands and your knees. Now, if you want that pillow underneath your knees, now's that little chance where you can put it right there at those knees. It does feel nice, but you don't need it if you don't like to have that there. And I'm going to say it now so you remember next time that I say it, always making sure that that wrist is underneath your shoulder and your knee is right underneath your hip. You're not askew in any way. A little bit of science and math there. Tuck your chin around your back. And then lift the chin and lower the belly, kind of tilting that tailbone, going through a cat-cow. So you're going to inhale, and then when you exhale, tuck your chin and round it. Almost think as everything opens, it's an inhale, and as you exhale, you tuck and round. Today's yoga is to relieve back pain, as well as strengthen your back and your core to prevent back pain. Because I know there's been a couple of you that have been working too hard sometimes, moving and doing yard work, and it's been bothering your back, and I thought, let's throw it in there. Let's do one more inhale and exhale. Now bring your toes together, take your knees nice and wide, if you have a mat, about as wide as your mat. And we're going to sit back to a child's pose. Let your hips sink deep, coming down nice and low. And you can rest on your forehead, you can rest on your cheek, however you like that. Should feel a good hip opening. You're going to come on up to your down dog. We're going to take it to a down dog. Curl your toes, lift your knees, pressing your heels down, pointing your tailbone up. Good, keep going. I'm gonna talk to you for a second. Now make sure your middle fingers are pointing forward and your fingers are really nice and spread out. Think about your tailbone pointing up towards the ceiling. Keeping either a flat back or almost an arched back a little bit. And your heels don't have to touch the floor, but you're pushing them that direction. Then we're gonna take that dog for a walk. So you're gonna alternately bend your knees, pressing your heels. Good, that looks good. Good, I'm gonna watch some form here a little bit. Good, Dee Dee, Kathy. Oh, that looks like that feels good, Kathy. Yes, Christy, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, you guys are making me feel nice and relaxed watching you look so beautiful. And that doggy's the cutest ever. All right, pressing both of your heels down. Really bring that heart. Think about your heart coming towards your thighs. Then walk your hands in to your feet so you're in a forward fold. You're just hanging out here. Now here's where your block can come into place. If this bothers your back, you're gonna take your block and you're gonna bring the floor up to you. All right, otherwise if your hands can just kind of dangle. Now I'm not putting any weight on there, I'm just dangling. But if that hurts your back, you know what? Dangle with a block in front of you. Bend your knees and then straighten. Bend and straighten. One more time, bend and straighten. Good, now just really relax your shoulders, relax your neck, and shake your head no. And then shake your head yes. And when I say shake, I'm not like shake, 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 just moving your head in a yes position, relaxing that neck, and then quiet that down. And imagine that there's a pole right at the top of your hips, right at your tailbone, and you're just gonna pivot towards the right around that pole. So you're shifting your weight to the right, your arms are twisting. Let's take it to the other side. We're gonna go back and forth, maybe an inhale one direction. And then when you exhale, go the other way. And now here, you can have your legs completely straight, but if that hurts the hamstrings or hurts the low back, you can soften those knees. But I do hope you're getting a good stretch through that low back, into your glutes, and into those hamstrings. I hope you're enjoying this stretching period because it doesn't last much longer. And bring it back center, fold your arms. Now, that one you were twisting, right? You were twisting around your spine, now we're gonna sway. So folding those arms to create a little bit of gravity, leaning forward, and now we're gonna sway side to side. Imagine like an elephant's trunk, which is as you're walking and it's swaying side to side. Relaxing through your hips, just swaying. Should feel nice through that lower back. Soften those knees and then roll it up. Nice and slow until you're all the way up. Shoulder roll at the top and then fix yourself. Good. We're gonna stand. If you're on a mat, you're gonna go wide, whichever direction that is to you. I'm gonna face it this way. Legs are nice and wide, toes are out to the corners. Actually, yeah, I was just gonna say, you could flip it so you have two mats the way I do if you want to. Shoulders are back.
Katie told me that.
Now, when you come on down, if you're natural, some people just the way their spine is made, they naturally have like a little arch in their back. I want you to think tuck, that tailbone. And some people naturally have the tuck, and if you have a tuck, I want you to relax it. So think about your back. What I want it to feel like is that your abs are pulled in, and your tailbone is just tucking towards the floor. Good, shoulders are back. Now, sink into a little bitty squat, as much as your body wants to handle. Inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, pull your elbows in towards your ribs as if you're holding 20-pound weights. Lift, squeeze like you're moving through molasses. Right now, my shoulders are like squeezing nice and tight. Inhale and exhale, squeeze. My arms are in parallel with me, but if you want to slightly bring your hands behind you a little bit to open up that chest, feel free. add motion with those legs. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, pull it down. Sitting as low as you're comfortable. Good, this is the goddess pose. Because if you imagine, when you think of Hindu and Indian and, the yoga statues, that lady who has like 8 to 10 arms, I don't really know the names of those things. She always sits there with her arms, they're all coming down like this for goddess pose. I think. Don't quote me on that. You guys always know I think things and then I realize, oh, that's not why it's called that. But I think that's what it is.
Sounds good.
It works. We're going to hold this next one at the bottom and release those arms. And those arms should have felt it. We're going to lunge to the side. Those that don't like to give me a big, deep lunge, you're just going to kind of push those hips, like you're doing a little angled deadlift. Otherwise, come to a side lunge. Feel that inner thigh. And we're going to pulse, pulse, pulse. Good. Now, if this is enough for you, keep it here. If you can reach for that floor or reach for your block, whether it's low or medium or high, find your block or find the floor. Lift the toe to the extended leg and sink. Good. Now the side, the arm that's bent, probably looks like some of you it's your right or your left. Reach it up to the ceiling and feel free to look up. Hold, you're working those muscles. Now that foot that's pointed, go ahead and just relax it back down. Let that top hand come to the floor. You're still in that same side of the lunge. Take the other arm up. Leg that's bent should feel like it's working. You feel that? Kind of burning a little bit. Bring both arms centered. Switch the lunge to the other side. Find your lunge. If you have your block, get it in position. Lift the extended leg's toe, which is my right toe. I don't know if that's yours. The side that's bent, reach that arm up to the sky. And then that toe that's flexed, relax it to the floor. Let the top hand come to the floor hand come to the ceiling. Good, really deepen those hips. Let those hands come back down. Toes are front, come center, and just hang out. Come on down, relax. Again, if your flexibility doesn't have you come to the floor where you can rest your hands, that's where your block comes in. You can hold that block and rest it, otherwise just let it hang. And we're going to turn to your right. So turn to your right, bending that right leg, extending that back leg long. So we're coming into a runner's pose. So that right knee is bent, back leg is long. Good, hands are on either side of your foot, framing it for that nice runner's lunge. Place your hands on your thighs, sit yourself up, shoulders are back. So your toes are both pointing forward, right knee is bent, back leg is nice and long. Inhale, we lift, bring your palms together, right in front of your chest at your heart center. Hold. Sometimes just holding is harder than moving. Reach your arms up to the sky. Take your right hand, I'm going to turn. Take your right hand on your left wrist and pull over. Find your center of gravity. Don't let yourself fall forward or back or left or right. Bring it back center. Good. Release the hands to the floor. Bring both of your hands on the inside of your arch of your foot on that same side. This is the lizard. Level 2, we're at level 2. If you want level 1, guess what? Drop that back knee anytime you need to and uncurl that toe. Otherwise, you can keep that leg up. Good, that knee that is bent near your shoulder, it's touching your shoulder and that foot's close to your hand. And then, next option to go increase, let that knee fall open. And drop those hips. Good. If that hurts, pick that knee back up. It doesn't have to be down there. Are you shaking a little? Drop that back knee, uncurl the toe, and that foot that's in front of you, grab it with your hand. We're just going to slide it in front of you so you can come right down for a pigeon pose. Right there, pigeon pose. And you can adjust that foot any way you need to. If it needs to be open, closed. If it hurts to be down there, guess what? That's where a block can come in again. You can put it underneath you. You can sit on it. Lots of choices, or you can get that pillow and sit on it. Or if at any time that's too much for you as well, you can sit right here with your 90-degree bend, sitting up nice and tall. Now, that upper body in that pigeon has a couple choices. You can come to your elbows, you can come to your forehead, or you can push up into a little cobra. Just depends on where it feels good for you. When I say feels good, I'm not looking for a feels good stretch. I'm looking for a, oh, that hits that spot that I just needed to work on. That's what I want you to feel. And for me, that's usually coming up. But if that's you coming down, that's for the back. That's good for that back. The legs should be getting kind of tired. Almost like it's getting tingly, you know, like if you've been sitting on your foot for a long time, sometimes that will happen. Now curl that back toe, lift the knee off the floor, and that right foot that's on the floor bent, step it back so you're a plank. Slowly lower towards the floor. Straight body, slowly down. Push up to a cobra. Exhale, release, come back to a down dog. Child's pose. And breathe, reset. So what you just did with that right leg, we can now do on the left. So let's come up to a table, curl your toes, down dog, pressing those heels down. And we're gonna take that left leg and step it up and through between your hands.
I'm coming.
Getting sweaty. Good. So that left leg is right between those hands. Let's think. We didn't have the knee dropped on this one, but if you guys need to drop that knee, you go ahead. Otherwise, keep that leg up. Hands on your thighs, sitting up, shoulders are back. So your toes are both pointing the same direction. Your front leg is the other leg now. My left leg, I'm assuming yours. If it's not, you know, other leg. Bending, sinking. Anytime that's too much, guess what? Drop that knee. Inhale, lift, palms together, right in front of your chest to your heart center. Check that your shoulders are up, back, down, back is flat. If you ever need to come up because it's too much, come up, otherwise you're as low as you can handle. Arms reach up. Left hand grabs your right wrist and pulls over. Keeping your balance in the center. This is throwing that balance off, making your abs work a little more. Release. Frame the foot. Come on down with those hands and take both of your hands on the same side near the arch of that leg. Remembering again, you can drop that back knee, which, you know what, might be perfect for majority of you. If you know what you're doing, you've been here for a while, you can keep it higher. And then let that knee hang open. And it doesn't even have to go a lot. Maybe it goes a little, maybe it goes a ton. I love it. Just feels
I
great.
get almost better if I keep them on the ground.
Yeah, some people do. If that back knee going to the floor lets you sink deeper, take it. Take it. Go ahead, and if you're not dropping that back knee, go ahead and drop that back knee, uncurl the toe. We're going to take it back to that pigeon with the other leg forward. And each side is different. Maybe one side you're able to do it, this side you're not, and you need to bring that leg in. Go right ahead. And how did you like it on the other side? Did you like it all the way down? Really getting a deep stretch through your hip flexor and your glute. Did you like it on your elbows? Getting medium stretch. Did you like it on your hands? Putting the stretch now in your hip flexor and your lower back. That's the one I always feel I need. Now take that back toe, curl it under so you can lift the knee off the ground, stepping the front leg back to your plank. Slowly lower to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release, coming to a down dog. Curl your toes under, lift up to plank through to your down dog. Walk your feet close together. Lift your right leg up behind you, so in a split down dog. And you're gonna bring that right knee, you're gonna bend it and bring it towards your chest, and then extend it back out again. Inhale, you're long. Exhale, you crunch it in. And when you crunch it in, go ahead and round that back, really hold everything in, keep going, give me a few more of those. I'm gonna look at your form and then shout at my child upstairs. Hey, Bailey, Bailey, you gotta get ready for swim team. When we're done here, I gotta take a kid to the swim team. And one more. And then extend it back. Bring it to the floor. Other side. Take the left leg up, nice and long, 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 long. Inhale, exhale, bring that knee towards your nose, towards your chest. Inhale, tall. Now on that knee coming in, that's called the cheetah. If you want to take that back leg to a tippy toe, feel free. Think long, long, long. Crunch everything in. Keep going. This should feel like you're working your arms, working your abs, working your chest, getting a stretch through those legs, but still working. Maybe heart rate's coming up. Give me 2 more of those. And then return to your down dog. Bring your hands fairly close together and drop your elbows to the floor, which is not easy. And then come back up, lift those elbows back up, and then drop them.
Oh wow, that's hard.
And lift, yeah. I had to put a couple workouts in here, right? Drop, lift. Let's do one more. I think this one's Sarah's least favorite. I'm sorry, Sarah. Back up. Drop your knees. Good, tabletop position. We're gonna extend that right leg back out. Nice and long. Now if you want to lift it really high, go for it. If you just like to extend it long, that's great. All right, we're gonna keep a straight line from your tippy toe to your hips and to your head. So I'm about to do like a push-up where my head comes to the floor, my leg comes up, and I come back up, push up. Let the elbows go out nice and wide. And hold. I'm going to take that right leg that is extended and I'm going to place it out to the side on that floor and sit yourself up. That knee is right underneath your hip. Extended leg is long. Now that leg that is extended, there's a couple options here. Like right now I just have it resting on the floor and it's hanging out there. That's totally fine. If you want a little more strength, you're going to kind of point that toe and squeeze those muscles and engage them the whole time. As we inhale, we lift long, long, long. Exhale, we're going to lean for the extended leg. Good. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lean. Those are your side abdominals that we're working, your obliques. And if you're engaging that leg, you're working those legs. Another way to increase the intensity, if you want, is when you come up, overextend, like reach all the way over the opposite direction and come back. You almost kind of look like a beautiful ballerina. And we're going to hold this next one in towards that extended leg. Hold. And release the arms, release that leg back under to your tabletop. Extending the other leg behind you, which is my left. Lifting or just keeping it pointed to your push-ups. Forehead to the floor, back up. One more. Good, let that leg come out to the side and sit yourself up. So now we're hitting the other side there. Long, tall, straight line knee, hip, shoulder. Raise. Remember that extended leg can just be hanging there or it's engaged. And as we exhale, we lean and crunch and stretch. Nice and tall. And then you choose already, you know the option to add on if you want to add that overextension, because oh my gosh, that's where it's a little bit more abs, a little more core. Good. Anytime that starts to bother your hip, guess what? Shake it out. Come right back when you're ready. Sometimes I know, like if we have little ligaments that pop, pop, that's happening. Yeah? You know what I'm talking about. You can always wiggle it out. And we're gonna hold this next one that you take towards that extended leg. And let's hold. Bring it back up center. Bring that leg in. Sit on back and down. Ooh, how are we doing? We're feeling things, right?
Yoga's always more of a workout.
Yoga is a workout. That is true.
Yours are for sure.
Thank you. All right, grab your block as an option. We're going to get a little bit more core before we end today. So we're going to lay on down to a bridge position, taking either the block or the pillow. And remember, so you have medium, short, medium, tall. I would go on the short or the medium side right now. In fact, I'm going on the short. I'm going to place it right under my tailbone, maybe at the lower back of the hips, so that if I pick up my legs, I feel pretty well balanced on top of that block. Hands are on the floor, palms are down. Go ahead and extend those legs up to the ceiling. You should feel like you're balanced pretty good here. Good, and slowly lower your legs all the way to the floor. And when they're at the floor, go ahead and relax and release. You should feel a little hip opening in the front hip flexor, maybe a lot, maybe a little. You'll feel a little extension through that spine. When I say extension, I mean when you're standing up and your spine is stacked one on top of the other, it feels condensed in its pressure. And right now, you feel like it's kind of released and it's separated. Now we're going to alternately lift one leg and then the other. And you know, as we get going, I'm going to start to increase your intensity. Now when you lift that leg, I don't want you just lifting it up to the ceiling. Again, we're going to do like a ballerina's battement, if you know what that means. And we're going to flick it up. Almost like if you give a little momentum, you have a little extra push to go further than straight at the ceiling. Yeah, ooh, Christy, that's your move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks good. She's got ballerina daughters. I think they got it from her. That looks like a very nice battement. And next level, if you want to, you're going to slow it down and take both legs to come up. And take your time to let it come down. I like to exhale as I come up to help pull that diaphragm in. And then I inhale as I open. And when your legs come down to the last time, go ahead and keep them on the floor. Beautiful. Hands behind your head like you're about to do a crunch. Bring that right knee in, and left leg is lifted. Good. Now, if you want that left leg extended to the ceiling, it's a little easier. At an angle, it's harder. Closer to the floor, it's hardest. Good. Hold. Now we're going to lift your head and shoulders like you're doing a crunch. Switch. Hold. Now that bottom extended leg is not on the floor, but I'm reaching those toes and it's hovering right above the floor, or it can be higher. And switch. And switch. And release both feet to the floor. Good. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees hang open as your arms just rest to the side. If this bothers your back, if it's too much, then there's a couple things to do. One, adjust the block. Maybe it needs to be in a different position. Maybe a little higher, maybe a little bit lower, maybe turned to, oh, there we go, that was nice. Or it can be removed completely, but you're in a cobbler's pose here. Your soles are together, your knees are hanging open. Just relaxing over that block for now. I always have too much material. I have like enough to do it like 30 minutes more. Maybe in the summer we'll do that. We'll do like a full hour class, maybe an hour and a half. I really do enjoy yoga. It does lots of stuff for your body. Bring your feet together, or knees together. Lift up to remove that block. And you're gonna lay on the floor. You can have your knees bent, you can have your legs straight, and your arms, I want to be at field goal. This is called cactus. So your arms are here at cactus, laying on the floor. And you're gonna apply light pressure. So the back of your hand and your elbows is applying pressure to the floor as you slide your arms up and slide them back down. Good, so this, if you were looking straight down on someone, these are the arms, they're just raising and they're lowering, and you're applying enough pressure to the floor that
You're cleaning the floor.
You're cleaning the floor. Good, yeah. Cleaning that floor. Put a little rag underneath your hands and clean that floor. Good. Take one more. And then release those arms nice and comfortable. Bring those knees together. Your feet are about hip distance apart. I'm going to go this way. You guys don't need to look at my crotch. There we go. Arms are relaxed. And we're just going to drop those knees back and forth. Just side to side. Again, like I said, this is for your spine today. You should feel like you strengthened it, loosened it, gave it so much love. And worked those abs. It's a package deal. You can't work your back without your core. You can't work your core without your back. At least it should be a package deal. If it's not, that's when injuries happen. So we have to avoid those at all costs. And then bring it back center. Extend your left leg to the floor, bringing that right knee in. We cannot finish a yoga class without a spinal twist. So take the opposite hand to that knee, pull it across as then the same arm. Like, so if my right knee's bent, my right arm is out to the floor. On the other side, palm is down. Now you can choose to look the direction that your knee is twisting, or you can choose to look at the ceiling where it's a little more in depth, or you can choose to look away where it's seriously awesome. Good. Christy, you're doing awesome trying to do yoga while kids and dogs are climbing around you. You are Superwoman. But that just goes to show, you know what? You can do it. You can do it. Bring that in. No excuses for people, right? Be like, look at me. Bend that knee, extend that leg. Take that arm, pull it across the other side now. I'll just tell people, you know Christy Russell, yeah, you know how many kids she has? Right, she still gets her workouts in because she knows it's important. Because we want to be grandmas that can crawl and chase after our grandbabies, right? I sure want to. I want to be able to chase after my great-grandchildren. Maybe not chase, but help. And bring it back center. Bending those knees, feet on the floor. Just kind of relax that spine. If it feels good to tuck the tailbone, tuck it. If it feels good to arch it down, arch it down. If it feels good to just relax it, just relax it. Take a few deep cleansing breaths in the nose, out the nose, and I want you to notice how your muscles feel. If there's an ache or pain in anything right now, I need you to text me what that ache and pain is. so that I can provide exercises and stretches for you personally to help those aches and pains go away. If after today's back yoga exercise things hurt, then we need to address what those are. I'm hoping though that you feel pretty darn good. Your muscles feel like you did something today. There's a little hum, a little warmth going on in those muscles. You can feel your blood pumping through your body. You got a little bit of heat and a little bit of sweat today, not a ton, but a little bit. And then when you're ready, just kind of roll to your side to bring yourself on up to a nice and tall seated position. And now we're done, but when I turn this off, if you feel like you need to go back down, go ahead and get back down and do those stretches. If you want to go back and hit rewind and play this again, guess what? Do it again. This is one of those that you can do every single day. It's going to strengthen your back. It's going to help if you guys have back issues, if they come up anytime during training or moving your house or doing yard work, guess what? Go find it, press play. If you do a great workout with me on a Tuesday or a Thursday and afterwards you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do that also. Press play, get it in. You're gonna love it. Thanks for coming today, guys. So on Tuesday, we're gonna do pound, I believe. I believe we're doing pound. So drumsticks, you don't need drumsticks. You can use hairbrushes, you can use kitchen, wooden spoons from the kitchen. But if you really wanted them, I'm pretty sure you can find them on Amazon. Maybe $5-10, I don't know, but they're fun to have. So if you've never taken pound, come try it. It's total fun. It's just a bunch of fun and a lot of uncoordination. Just know that going in, right? It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it just right. All right, nice work, ladies. Thanks for coming. I'll see you Tuesday. If not before, then have a great Memorial Day weekend and have fun. And you know what? Eat all the foods. And then don't eat all the foods. See you guys later. See you tomorrow, Kathy.